But we're here today to announce that we have come to an agreement, which we always knew we would come to an agreement
Absolutely.
on the ability to raise the minimum wage. We are going to advance the speaker's bill at $10.10 an hour, up in every year until it reaches 15, and give the governor the opportunity to sign it, to do the right thing. We clearly don't really expect him to do that. And if not, then we are going to move forward with the constitutional amendment that I proposed that will also be changed. The change is to where the Speaker and I came to an agreement on, which is instead of a $9 threshold to $10.10 after its inception. It would be on the ballot in 2017. That's only if the governor does not do
The right thing.
the Speaker's bill. So that's the gist of it. And Speaker?
And like, again, this is important for, it's too important not to be able to come together. And again, obviously we would all like a larger relief for these people that, as I've been talking about poverty, that we have a large amount of people, 800,000 children in the state of New Jersey. We want to get them relief. But this is something that hopefully businesses don't scream that the sky's falling down, because it is a phase-in. It's a little moderate amount that it's going to go up, so it'll be some relief early on, and then hopefully we can achieve it. And we're giving the governor the opportunity to do the right thing and sign it into law. If not, then we'll go with the Senate President said, with a constitutional amendment to do that. And again, we are actually being mindful of businesses that we have given over $5 billion in tax credits over the last few years, and we did the business incentives. We've done a lot of things, so it's time to somebody to watch out for the people that's voice is not heard, and we need to take care of the most vulnerable in the state of New Jersey.
And the business community, last time we did the minimum wage said they were going to lose 34,000 jobs. Well, we gained 90,000. And the reason why the economy gained is by giving people on the lower end of the spectrum, the work spectrum, more money. They're not running to the bank with it to put it in the bank. They're actually spending it, putting it directly back into the economy. And by putting it back in the economy, it regenerates about 7 times over. So it's actually very good for business. But the Speaker said it. We're giving predictability to the business community. I no doubt will expect them to complain, and the world will come to an end again, just to realize that we'll wake up the next day and the place will be a little bit better than the way we found it. This is important, and I recognize and really credit the Speaker for his leadership and really sparking the conversation on poverty. When you have 800,000 children in one of the wealthiest states in the country living in poverty, it is not acceptable. And that's why these are core Democrat principles.
Absolutely.
And that's why, everyone wanted to make it, look, we're not doing. Democrats can disagree, which we do, and work to a solution. Sometimes the other party doesn't do that. We're not ashamed of it.
No, absolutely.
Right? So,
listen, it's about working together in a common goal to be able to give relief to, in a state that's, the Senate President said, a very wealthy state, but it's a very expensive state to live in. And once you put money into the pocket of those people will in turn buy goods, services, and that spurs the economy. And that also leads us eventually into getting our TTF done. That's another catalyst for our economy to, turn around.
you got any questions for us? Yes, Matt.
How does this work with the CPI when you're doing a phase?
With the CPI will still exist.
But if you're phasing it, okay, so I guess.
So
it's
it
gonna
would be
above and beyond.
plus. It would be plus.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Up to
So-
get to 15.
Right.
So when you're doing it to 1010,
Yeah.
presumably that will be above what the CPI was, or would the CPI be on top of the 1010?
On top of this.
On top.
On top of.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd actually probably be a little above.
It could be. Well, listen, there was no CPI this year.
Right.
Matt, as the prime sponsor of the last 2 minimum wage increases, and I think you were one of them too,
I was-
right?
yeah, I was a sponsor.
Vinny was the sponsor too. The reality is, 838 really doesn't cut it. You need to make at least $11 an hour. I saw some numbers, like when we have them for you, is like $11.70 for a family of 3. You know, we're talking about, not about, you know, the business community keeps saying, well, these are kids just flipping hamburgers. That's not true.
That's not.
There are adults, families, heads of households that are working 2 and 3 jobs, thousands upon thousands of them. I think there's 60,000 women that are heads of household making minimum wage. Last time I checked, when we did the bill last time. So this is the opportunity to give people to get up every single day and go to work, to live with some dignity.
Yeah, and adding the CPI actually will get you quicker to
To the
15, and that's the goal here.
Yeah.
And by what year do you think we'll get to $15?
I'm hoping maybe 2021, hopefully. That's, you know, that would be ideal if we could
Yeah,
make it by then.
Listen, we intend to phase it in $1 a year, but with the CPI, depending on what the CPI is, the latest would be 2023. It could be as early as 2021. Okay? Yes, Andrew?
So, you said 838 doesn't cut it. Why, you know, why did you move in 2013 to amend the Constitution if you thought that wasn't going to be sufficient at that time? And what has changed since then?
Well, the reality is, you know, look at Andrew, we thought we were doing the right thing. We did the right thing. We raised the minimum wage $1. It wound up $1.13, but it's just not enough. Recognizing the way costs are going in this country, in the state that we live in, look, it's an acknowledgement we didn't get it right. I'm acknowledging we need to go back and do it to get it right.
A lot of times legislation is not perfect. You try and get as much as you can at that point in time, and then you circle back and get another bite of the apple. That happens all the time. And again, this state is very expensive to live in. When you look at, you know, what housing costs is in this state compared to any other state, it's very high. So like the Senate President says, we didn't get it right. That was probably what was doable at the time. But once you see it into reality, what it is generating, it's not enough.
But I do,
You need to get there by 2023, $15, but then the cost of living is going
well, no, listen, right now in Washington, they're talking about a $12 minimum wage. Right now. So by 2021, 2023, $15 will be what the wage should be. So realize we're actually looking at inflation and looking at costs, and we think we're right on par on this one. We really do.
I think we're there.
Am I?
What happens to that, Senator, you proposed that business tax credit with non-renewable costs, what happens to that?
That's something I just asked the speaker to look at. That's something separate. You know what that does? That gives incentives for businesses to do it on their own. And we're hoping that they do on their own. But I've asked the speaker to take a look at the bill to get his input. But, you know, obviously we'll have to see where that one goes.
Yeah, and I'll definitely look at it.
Last time you said we wouldn't have to do this again.
Yeah.
After this, are we ever going to have to do this again?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, so you're not making that commitment.
Well, you know, listen, Matt, you know, I'm not a perfect person. And there's never legislation that's perfect. We thought we were getting people the help they need,
Yeah.
but there's a real recognition that it's not enough.
You know, it's reality. Like I said, legislation, a lot of times we do cleanup bills, we come back, and guess what? It doesn't work out as what we had planned for. And again, this is people's lives that are affected here. It's important.
But it's, you know, it's so important to realize that we recognize this needs to be done. And just as important, the people of this state strongly support raising the minimum wage. They've done, you know, they did it in a very strong way, and I think we can really make a real argument. The speaker and I, we're going to be working with the AFL-CIO and all the other labor advocacy groups together to advance this measure. This is about getting people out of poverty. You know, poverty is going up from 8% to 11% in the state.
Higher in 5 decades.
You see the chamber and a couple of business groups are having their press conference down the block.
Yeah.
About an hour to put forward their plan. I mean, have you guys interacted at all with them?
John, listen, you know, you can't, they're not even reasonable to try to work with. You know, when we were doing the minimum wage last time, they said, well, we don't want it in the Constitution. I said, okay, well, then negotiate with us. They said, no, we're against minimum wage increase. I said, well, you know, if we go to the people, it will pass. And they said, yeah, we know. I said, well, then negotiate with us. And the answer was no. So, look, it's one of these things that, as me and the speaker always say, when you're willing, there's always the ability to compromise, like he and I did today.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, when you look at businesses, you got to be realistic. We did the 2013 Business Opportunity Act that gave a lot of incentives. As I said, over $5 billion in credits to businesses. We've done, this past year, the BEEP was out of the budget. We actually did a bill. We restored that. Now they could use it as credit. We've done a lot for the businesses. This is time that they have to come to the table, and they have to understand it's not just a one-way street. So we need to get some money to these people that are living in poverty in the state of New Jersey.
Have there been any discussions with the administration on this since you two come together?
Well, we, as I said, and I think the speaker, we're willing to give the governor the opportunity to do the right thing. I don't expect him to. I think he'll clearly veto the bill. And then we'll go to the people on this one, and because we shouldn't hold back lifting people out of poverty.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be a bill, that it needs to be vetted. It needs to, everybody, be on the record with it. Give them an opportunity to do the right thing and acknowledge that there is a problem. And then if not, then we will go to the voters.
Yeah. John?
What's your timetable?
We're moving quick. We're going to move, I guess we'll have the bills in shortly, and we'll move them. The Assembly will move it first, because the legislative piece is the speaker's, and it'll move first. And when the governor, if he does what we anticipate, then hopefully by June, or May or June, we'll have the constitutional amendment for the first time. And look, we're going to have to do it twice. It won't be on this year's ballot. It'll be on the 17th ballot.
Yeah.
But we're ready to move quickly.
Unless, some of the other side of the aisle recognizes the need, and everybody's districts has poverty.
Yeah.
So I think, everybody should take a hard look, and, elections do matter, and look at the last election, that the people of New Jersey are hurting. So hopefully, maybe we can get it accomplished and get it on the ballot in one year. So let's see what happens.
Do you think having it on the ballot is pretty opportune in 2017?
I'm sorry?
Do you think having it on the ballot in 2017 is pretty opportune?
No, I actually think it's as quickly as we really can get it
Yeah.
done. And unless the Republican, look, I'll put it to you this way. I'm really not anticipating, I'm not as much of an optimist as the speaker. I'm not anticipating Republicans giving me any votes for it, and I don't have all 24 in my house, and I know that. But I know I have at least 21, and that's what I'm going to need. Andrew, and then Mike.
So, once it eventually hits 15, it's still tied to inflation, we
Yeah.
continue to go up.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Listen, that's what got us in this.
It would never dip below, I mean, it would
No,
never.
that would be the floor.
But Andrew, this is what, minimum wage is basically about 29% of what it should be right now. And this is just setting the table back. And, minimum wage actually helps the middle class too. Because where I do agree, it puts pressure for more people. But, the middle class and the working poor are the people that really do need the help. The speaker said it, we've given billions of dollars of tax credits. We cut the business tax in the beginning of the governor's career. We agreed $540 million. So look, it can't be just one way.
Yeah, and when you look at look at this year's budget, look at the corporate tax. It's flat from last year. So that will show you that what we're talking about is realistic. Businesses, we've been fair with them. It's about time to put money in the pocket of the people that need it, and they're going to spend it into those businesses to spark the economy. Absolutely.
Mike?
Since the governor looks so certain to veto the legislation, let's just walk me through your thinking about why you're gonna just not go right to the amendment?
Well, the reason being, Michael, it needs to be vetted because businesses, they're saying, they're legislating by the constitutional amendment. Let's go through the process. Let's put everybody on the record. So everybody on both sides of the aisles registers what their vote is, give an opportunity to the governor to do the right thing, and understand that there's not just the one New Jersey that they talk about that leaves the state because, the inheritance tax. There's another group of the people that I represent that are living paycheck to paycheck. They're not leaving the state of New Jersey. Those people we have to take care of also. Those people are not the ones that have the big lobbyists that come to us. Those are the people that call our office for constituent service. So everybody needs to be on the record, and hopefully they'll do the right thing.
And, it's a core principle, I think, and it shouldn't be just a Democrat. It should be Democrat and Republican to help lift people out of poverty. The speaker, again, was the one that really said that this is going to be a focus of this session, and I agree. And we all should agree. And this is one of the ways of lifting people out of poverty.
What what is negotiable? If the businesses community comes in, you know, you seem pretty ironclad as to where you are
Well,
now.
I think when we're saying negotiable, they should be supportive of the way it is being phased in, as opposed to what I had said about $15, one flu soup. As the Senate President said, let's try and phase it in. So I think we've been good and reasonable. I think this is something they should rally and stand behind, because it gives some fairness to the other side, that, the people that need it the most.
And honestly, from going around it the last time and saying, let's sit down and talk, and the answer is no, we're going to oppose it no matter what, because nationally we disagree, and we're never going to support a minimum wage increase. So you know something? We've always offered them the opportunity to come and talk to us, but if the answer is we're not doing anything, that's not an answer. So you'll find out when you go hear them that they're going to form some kind of something to do everything they can do to fight. But I got to tell you, we're going to fight, and we're going to work. And we're going to work with, again, Charlie and Laurel and all the other labor groups. We're going to work, and we're going to fight, and we're going to get it passed. Because we do believe, and we know our caucuses do believe and support raising people out of poverty. It's the highest poverty level in 5 generations, as the speaker said.
5 generations, and we need to rebuild the middle class of the state of New Jersey, which has been eroded. So at the end of the day, it's the right thing, and hopefully we'll get it accomplished. And I know we have the support, I think, in both caucuses to put this on the governor's desk.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna push for another increase in the earnings on tax credit, which is something the governor has shown support for?
Hey, listen, he went to 30. If he was willing to raise it more, obviously we would be very excited and supportive of that.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Do you have anything on the TTF?
Thank you.